hierarchies. Can you talk a little bit about how peer-to-peer affects hierarchies?
Yes. So I think it's incorrect to say that there is no hierarchy in peer-to-peer. There is some form of hierarchy, but traditionally how hierarchy is defined is you have a small group of people who kind of like go out of the system and then decide what the other people in the system should do, right? And so there's an element of coercion involved in hierarchy, which I don't think you necessarily have in peer-to-peer. I think peer-to-peer is more people saying, okay, shall we do this together? And then of course the people who launch it have some kind of extra leverage because they inspire the others, like Jimmy Wales in Wikipedia, or Richard Stallman with free software, or Linus Torvald with there's certainly there's a hierarchy of engagement and there's a hierarchy of experience. And usually what you find is there'll be some kind of core leadership, setting the kind of broad strategy or constitution of the project. But then within the team it's really a meritocracy. It's, okay, for this kind of project you're the best programmer, you're the best creative guy, and then hierarchy becomes something very fluid in the work itself, according to what type of work you're doing. Or
how does peer-to-peer apply to the average person? Like how can you see it affecting?
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is, first on a general scale, that as our society evolves from less and less material to more and more immaterial production, and as in the immaterial sphere, we get more and more for benefit production and less for profit production. So this sphere of peer production, peer-to-peer, is expanding. It's the technological infrastructure, internet, web. It's the organizational infrastructure, the way we organize together. So it's a third mode of production, a third mode of governance, and a third mode of property. And it's more efficient than the old way of doing things. And individually then, that's the next step, individually, when you are freely producing something, and you're not dependent on somebody else, then it changes your whole outlook on life and on how you work. You work based out of interest and passion. And so that whatever you are doing will always be almost optimal. And then together what we want is to make the best possible product. So there's always this kind of continuous improvement of what you're doing together. And I just think it's more fun to work together. It's just, working with friends, working with people who share the same ideal. I think it's a lot better than, working for a corporation. And
you've got a lot of experience in that, haven't you?
Well, I've been in the corporate world, and one of the reasons I quit is that I think that, the working relationships today have become dysfunctional. It's just not working. You see more and more innovation is taking place outside the corporation. Pharmaceutical industry, is really stuck. It can't really innovate in terms of medicines anymore. You see, Windows and Vista having, Microsoft and Vista having all this trouble, and then you see these alternatives emerging which are doing it better and more easier and more productively and making better products. So it's clearly an alternative.